This one is called the Z Fold mini album. This is kind of how it does. It opens up like this. You got pocket here, you've got a little pocket there, you have a pocket here, and then it also opens up this way and you have a pocket there, and then you have a little notebook on the inside. But all of this closes with magnets. There's magnets there, and then there's magnets here. So the first thing that you're going to do, let me put it this way, is put one of your large envelopes in. Put it, you know, the end part up against the side. Then you're going to come right, there's that factory fold line right there. So you're going to come up 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to make another score line. So 1/8 of an inch all the way down through there. 1/8. All right, you're going to lay that one aside. Then you're going to open your second one up, and there's our factory score line. We're going to come up 1/4 of an inch, which would be at 6. 1/4. All right. And then on your last one, you're going to put it in the same way, factory score line. You're going to come up 3/8 of an inch. So that's 3 of those little tick marks on here. I don't know how your scoreboard is, but mine is in eighths. So I can count 1, 2, 3, which would be 6 and 1/8. And that's going to be my last score on here. And I'm just kind of scoring easy. I don't want to punch through. Now let's go ahead and fold and burnish on these score lines. This first one's going to be a little bit tricky because it's very, very tiny. It's 1/8 of an inch. But you can just keep working it over and it should be fine. You should get it. There we go. Got that. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to go over and make that real smooth. Then we're going to do the same on this one. This is the 1/4 inch. And the same on this one. The 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Now lay the 3/8 of an inch side. And if you want to, you can go ahead and number these. This is going to be covered with paper. So this is going to be number 3. This is my 1/4. So this is going to be number 2. And then the one that's scored at 1/8 is going to be number 1. So you can go ahead and number them if that'll help you. Let me get this out of my way. Then we're going to take our 1/4 inch, which would be number 2. The one that we scored at 1/8 inch, which would be number 1. We're going to put this one, the 1/8 inch, face down. This one, number 2, face up. We're going to take the bottom of this one and we're going to place it right there at that score line that you made, not the factory score line, but the one that you made. So we'll go ahead and put glue all out on here. You're going to glue this down because this is going to be covered with paper. Just, oops, just don't do like I did right then. Just don't go over your score line. Just go right up to it, but not over it. Okay. Then we're just going to take this one and we're going to lay it down and even it up on the sides. You want your side here and this side to come even. So if you need to lay it up against something, or, you know, like I'm using my grid, and then just make sure that it's right up against that score line, not over it, just up against it. Let's see, let me look real close here. I'm going to go ahead and turn my other light on. It may blind you, but it helps me be able to see. Is that blinding you? Alright, so we've got that one glued to there. I'm just going to press this down really well on the back side. Got our little flap there. So that's the start of our little folio right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, so there are 2 that are glued together so far. So just set those right there. This is the one that you scored at 3/8, and then this is your small little envelope. So I'm just going to pull that tape off of that one. I'm going to, with this one face up, or the opening up, I'm going to slide this one under there. And I'm just going to kind of even it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of even it up from one side to the other. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this because that is not going to stick very well. So go ahead and put your glue down. Then we'll try that again. Slide it up under there. And then just right before the factory score line on this one, you want to make sure that that's where the end of the other envelope comes to. Don't bring it right up to it because it won't fold over if you do. I'm just leaving just a tiny bit of a gap there from one end to the other. Okay, so that makes it fold over still real well, like that. This is glued on the back. That's going to be covered with paper, so don't worry about that. But then we have another little pocket on the inside here. Now we're going to go ahead and open this up, and you can use your scissors or use a trimmer. I'm just going to use my trimmer because I have the shaky hands today, which I do from time to time. So especially if I do a lot of crafting in one day, my hands get a little bit shaky. So I'm going to use my trimmer just so maybe I won't cut it crooked. Maybe. All right. We open that up so that we have that pocket. Now what you're going to do is you're going to pull that pocket up like that. Then you're going to take these. These are the two that you've already glued together. Now that the sun's out, I'm going to turn that back off. This one is your 1/8 or your number 1. Let's write it on this side so that we know. This one is the only one that still has the flap. As you can see, this one doesn't. So take that flap, lay this one face up. This is face up, this is face up. Lay it right there on your score line that you made. So this is the one that we scored at the 1/8. And I'm just going to draw a little line on my score line down through there, just so that you can kind of see it. And I'm just going to lay that right up at that, not over it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to lay it a little bit away from it because I've got this extra bulk right here. So now what you need to do is put some glue on this one. Run your glue down through there. Don't go over your score line. There we go. And then go ahead and lay this one up on there. And I'm just going to slide it around as easy as I can to try to get it as even as possible. This art glitter glue dries so fast. Sometimes it's hard to slide things around like you want to. But if you want to use a little bit of, if you want to use your score tape and then put a little bit of glue stick on top of it, then you'll have room to slide things. So just make sure that your edges are glued down well, and you've got it. So there is our little folio. That's the way it's going to fold over, just like that. Then we've got, and you'll have plenty of room to do all kinds of things in there. This is going to be your flap, and then this, it will fold out. Of course, it won't fold out like that when we get finished, but then this is where we're going to put our little notebook in there. All right, we are ready to start embellishing. So that is as easy as it gets, putting these little folios together. I mean, that is all you have to do right there. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and grab my magnets, and I'm going to put my magnets on, because I know if I don't do it now, I will forget. So I'm going to, this one I've already used one time, so matter of fact, I think I've used both sides of that one. I'm going to lay that back in there, and I'm going to use one of these. So you're going to take one side of that paper off the back and just put it right there, kind of down from that little tip, down, you know, down a little ways so that you still have room to glue around it. And then you're going to take the backing off of this side. Now when we start to fold this down to put our magnet together, what I want you to do is make sure that this is even with the bottom here and even with the sides, and then press it down. If you don't, you may get it a little bit off. So I just pull mine down there until it's even. Make sure the sides are even, and then I press it down. Just like that. So there's our magnet on both sides. Then we are going to put a magnet right here and right here, because this is going to be where our little booklet, our little page booklet's going to come in, so we need something to close this one up with too. All right, take the backing off of one side of one of the magnets. Put it about maybe an inch down, half, 3/4, something like that. All right, then you're going to take the backing off of the other magnet. And again, you're going to lay this over, but you're going to make sure that everything is evened up before you press that magnet down. Just like that. All right. So we have our magnets on. Cool. That's ready to go. All right, now we're ready to start putting the mats and everything on. Okay, if you want to ink, now is a good time to do that. I don't think I'm going to ink mine this time, believe it or not. I think I'm going to leave it as is, but if you want to ink, you need to go ahead and do that now. Now, I'm going to open this back up, and on this little one right here, I'm going to go ahead and put a pull on this. Like that. So we've got our little pull in there. Okay, now you can go through your paper and decide what you want to use as your mats. Now, I will tell you, this is going to be the front. So make sure that you put something on here that you really, really like. It's going to be your front. We're going to measure these to make sure that we get the right width. Now, I have measurements written down, but all your little envelopes are usually made a little different. So I'd rather measure again, make sure that I give you the correct measurements as to use my measurements that I have written down, and then these envelopes will be a different size. So I'm going to cut this one, and then I'll tell you what size. Let's see, there's our mark right there. And just make sure that you're cutting the right way up. Okay, now we'll see exactly what size this is. All right, this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5. So that was pretty easy. 8.5 by 5.5. So you need to cut at least your front mat that size. I'm thinking all the mats are going to be the same, but like I said, sometimes I go ahead and measure again just to make sure that I'm getting all of my mats the same size. So 8.5 by 5.5. And then we're going to put this down. But before I put that down, I'm going to show you what I did to make the little template for this top flap. So I took my envelope and I just opened it up, and I took a piece of scrap paper, just some white paper, and I laid it on here, or I laid it underneath, really. Let me grab a piece of scrap here. Okay, I laid it underneath, and then I just drew around this like that. And then I trimmed this out, but when I trimmed it out, I came in about 1/8 or a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. Like that. And I trimmed it out. That way, when you start to put your mat on here, you've already got your little template. See, mine's going to fit, hopefully, pretty well. If it doesn't, I'll trim it down. It's not a biggie. And see, I am going to have to trim mine down quite a bit. But at least I have my template. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and trim mine down to where I need it to be. See how rounded this is? I'm thinking that some of my envelopes are a little bit different. So we're just gonna, I'll do it for real then. I'm just gonna lay that back in there, lay it right up close to where that score line is that I made. Not all the way down to it, but just up close to it. And then I'm just gonna trim this out again. I'm gonna trace it and trim it. And I'm thinking, let me look at this envelope. I think this is the one I used. Yeah, see, that one is rounded. This one is pointed. See the difference? Isn't that weird? This is not the one that I used this one to make my template by. I don't know where that one come from. Maybe that was an older one that I had. So let's go ahead and trim this. Where are my scissors? Go ahead and trim it out like it needs to be. And then you can just keep this in your stash for your template, in case you want to make more of these. All right, that works. So there's our template. Wow, that I can't believe that envelope is so much different than this one. So what we're going to do is take our little template that we just made. I guess I should have checked all my envelopes before I started creating. I hope that you didn't get one that has this, but if you did, it's no worries. They're the same size. They're the same exact size. It's just that the flap is a little bit different. And if you got one like this and you got other ones like this, just use this one on the inside. And, you know, use either one you want for your flap. It's not a biggie. It's just, you know, I didn't look, and so I cut my template out of the wrong one. Now I'm just going to lay my little template down on there, and I'm going to trim this paper out. Trim it. I'm going to trace this and then trim it. Okay, try to turn it around so I can get to this side. Do a little line like that. All right, then we will just cut this out. All right, here we go. Now let's see if we can put that on there. See if that's gonna work. Yes, that's gonna look good right there. So we've got that one cut, and now we just need to cut the one for the inside. And I'll probably just use the same paper for the inside. I'll just flip this over and cut it like that, so I don't waste so much paper maybe. Oh, and I have absolutely enjoyed seeing all of you guys posting on our Facebook page all your projects that you have made. They are absolutely beautiful. You guys are so creative. You don't cut yours upside down like I did, but you know what? On mine, I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's going to be on the inside, but don't cut yours upside down. Make sure that you flip your template, your paper over, and do your template so that yours will be right side up. But I'm going to use mine. I'm going to use it just like it is. Not going to worry. That's not a biggie to me. But just make sure that you put yours the right way up. Let's see, did I cut this one the right way up? You know what? That one's the right way up. So why don't we put that one on the inside and this one on the outside? We could do that. Let me see if I can get this glue off. Okay, that's good enough because I'm going to put a little something right there. Anyway, just going to make sure that it's even up here at the top. And we'll put that down just like that. And like I said, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll use my little eraser to take that excess glue off. But I'm really not going to worry about it because I'm going to put a little something right there. Then we will glue this one down on the inside. So there we go. We've got that in there. And then we will go ahead and put our little piece here down for our mat. See, that's going to be cute, I think. I like that. We'll make sure that we put our little bear and everything the right way. I'm going to go ahead right here and put a little bit of extra glue. That's where the magnet is, and I just want that piece to stick down well. Alright, so there we go. Okay, now we can put our mats on the other pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we want to put a mat here and a mat here. Now our mats are 8.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a few more to put down. Okay, we have our mats cut, and then we're going to go ahead and put mat down here. Let's see, what side do I want to use? I think I'll actually use that side right there. I like that. When you're putting glue down on here, you just want to put glue around through here, just on the envelope. Don't put any glue here. That's going to be your pocket. So don't put any glue right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a little pull in the top of this, and I'm going to use my oval. Let's see, is that going to be my top? Yes, that will be my top. So I'm going to use a little oval. So then we will put that down just like that. We'll glue up to the sides, but don't go down through here. Now, if you want to, I'm going to lay this back down to show you. If you don't want this brown paper showing underneath yours, I don't care. I like that. But if you don't want that showing, you can run another piece of just scrap paper right down underneath there along that way, and that will cover that up. I kind of like that brown so it doesn't bother me. Okay, so let's run our glue. Lay that aside. I'm going to run my glue on my envelope only. Don't put it on your paper. Put it only on your envelope. I'll run it close to the edge. I'm going to make sure that I put a good amount around my little magnets. Then we're going to lay this down. Just like that. See, we're leaving that open so that we can put a mat down in there. Now on this side, you want to glue this mat completely down, I think. You can make this a pocket if you want. I didn't on my other one because your little notebook is going to be right here. And if you lay the notebook down to write or anything on it, if you put a pocket here and you have some things in it, you know, it's going to be a little bit bumpy. I didn't make a pocket with this one, but you certainly can if you want to. Just cut your little pull out, glue it down the sides, across the bottom and up, and you've got another pocket. I am not going to do that on mine, but that's up to you if you want to. So I'm going to glue mine all the way down, so I'm going to put my glue on here. There we go. Got that mat down, that mat down. Then we can open it up. And we need a mat here and a mat here, and then we're going to mat this little thing, and then a mat on the back here. So let's go ahead and put one on here. Let's see. I think I'll use this one on here. This one, again, it's going to be a pocket. So you want to put a little pull in it, and then same thing. You want to put your glue just on your pocket here, not on your paper. Go ahead and lay this down on there, and then I'm just going to take my towel and dab my glue off, my excess glue. There you go. You've got another pocket, good size pocket. Then let's go ahead and do the same thing here. You're going to leave it open so you'll have another pocket there. So what do we want to put there? I think we might put the pumpkins there. That's cute. So that's going to be up, so let's put our pumpkins the right way. Go ahead and punch my little pull here, and then we'll glue that down right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put my glue just on my pocket here, or on my envelope. I am loving this. That is so cute. So let's go ahead and put the mat on the back here. What did I do with it? Put it on the inside, I think. Yeah. So we'll put this mat down on the back. And I'm thinking I'm just going to put it that way. Those leaves go in every direction, so I'm not going to worry about it if it's upside down, right side up, crooked. I'm just going to put the leaves down there. Now we can put our mats on this little envelope in here. And I'm just going to mark, I'm going to put this right up at the top, like that. Both of my mats are cut. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to mark where I need to punch my little opening. And when I punch it, I'm just going to punch it a little bit larger than what this is, and hopefully that's going to work fine. Let me make sure I'm punching the right end. That would be good, wouldn't it? I don't think it matters on that one. And then we're going to put that. No, it doesn't matter on either one. Okay, so I think we're going to put this one on this side. Just like that. And then we'll put the other one on the other side. Now, I started to glue again, and I need to stop myself and tell you that on this mat you need to glue on your envelope like you did on the big ones. Glue right up that little piece right there, and then put just a little bit of glue down through here. Don't put your glue in here. We don't want to close that pocket up. Okay, we'll flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Only you can glue all the way down on this side. So we have that, front, back, all of that covered. Now all we need to do now is put our little book in here. Now these pages are, I can't remember, I think they're 11 and some odd. Anyway, you need to cut them, just cut them down to 10 inches and leave the width the same. And we're going to put this little notebook in here. Now, you can put this in lots of different ways. You can use just some of your string or elastic and just tie it around there so that you can remove it. You can stitch it in with the pamphlet stitch like we did, you know, like we do signatures, or you can glue it in. Now, on this one, I'm going to glue. I sewed my other one in, and I ended up having to take it back out for a couple of things. So I'm just going to glue this one. What you need to do if you're going to glue is you need to make sure every page is folded right. And then you need right down that score line, just put a tiny little bead of glue. Just as small as you can get. Take your next page, make sure it's folded nice and crisp and even. I'll lay that aside for a second. Like that. And then you just want to lay that one down right on top of that other one. Making sure that your little folds here match up. I think I'll do it this way. Your score line and your score line is going to need to match so that your glue gets caught in there. So there it is right there. So there are two pages glued together. All right, open it up. You're going to put a little bead of glue down through here, right on the score line. Take another sheet. Make sure it's folded nice and straight, and then crease your score line, and then we're going to put it down just the same way, just like that. Each one that I put in, I go ahead and fold over. That way I know that everything is folding right and I've got my pages in like they need to be. Alright, you're just going to continue this same process until you get all of your pages in there. Okay, there are all of our pages in. Now, if your pages come out a little bit uneven, which they will when you put them one inside the other, if you want to trim them off, you can. Mine are not bad enough that it's not bothering me, so I'm going to leave it. Doesn't bother me at all. Now, what you want to do now is you want to make sure that the score line on your pages is laid down right between the score lines here. And you're going to run a bead of glue down through there. And I just kind of hold it like that and put my glue right underneath it. Just a straight line, as straight as you can. Just don't go over your score lines. And then I just open it up, take my bone folder, go right down through there and press it down. And like I said, if you want to stitch this, that's up to you. You can stitch it in. There's not a problem with that at all. Sometimes I stitch, sometimes I glue. Just depends on what kind of mood I'm in for that day. All right, mine is a little bit, there we go. Now I'm just going to press this side down. All right, there we are. So our little notebook is in there. We've got a pocket here. There is our front. We have pockets here and here. And now it's just a matter of embellishing and making your tags to go in here. Now, I'm not going to make the tags on the video because you guys know what kind of tag you want to make and you know how to make tags. I don't even think I'm going to put lace on this one. I kind of like the way it's looking, but if you stitch particularly, you may want to put a little lace across here to cover up your stitches. I'm going to put a little piece of it on mine because I think it's very pretty. I love the braided trim. First off, I'm going to cut it off even. Now, braided trim, as most of you know, it likes to fray. So what I will do first before I start gluing it down is I'm going to put a little bit of glue right on the end there. Just kind of press that in, and then I would let that dry. Right now I'm not going to let it dry, but I would let it dry normally like that. And this is just Fabri-Tac glue. Normally you would wait for that to dry. I do want to use this. What I was going to do with it is put it right there. Make sure which side is which. That side. Put that Autumn Splendor right there. And we might put this one up behind it. This is just one little one. Then you have some butterflies, and I think I will put a little butterfly right there. I'm just laying it out right now just so I can get a look at it. Let's see what else. You also have some of these little pieces in your kit. We might run that back there, and maybe one of these out this way. You know, I told you I was going to cover up my little glue glob mistake there, so we may run that out that way. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to lay this over the top, I think. Then this Autumn Splendor, I'm just going to tuck in there. Like that. And let's go ahead and put this piece down. Like that. Then we'll put this little piece in the center. And I just want to tuck this one up under. Let me see which way he's supposed to go. Okay. There we go, and then we'll tuck this in right here. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to put flowers on there or not. Let's see. Let me put this down. A little butterfly. And I'm just gluing him right in the center. I'll put him right there. And then I'm going to use our little wire that I cut right here and make his little body. Just going to take that wire, wrap it around something really small like a pin or maybe a paper clip that you've straightened out. And then that will be his little body right there. And then we're going to glue that in. Cute. And let's see. None of those. I may just put these two little flowers right here just for the sake of putting them down. Because they're laying here. And we'll just go ahead and glue them. And that is our little journal. Now I do need to put something right there, I feel like. Yeah, let's just put that down there. Just says welcome fall. So don't be afraid to cut your die cuts up and use them like you want to. Alright guys, that is it for this tutorial. We appreciate all of you guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye bye.